Hey guys, it's Mia here, and welcome back once again to another bookish video. Now, if my hair is a little messy, I did sleep with it like this, and I brushed it out in the morning, but oh well. And today I figured I would do an unhaul video since I'm cleaning out my room right now because I watched the show Hoarders, and that show always makes me feel like I need to clean because I don't see how anybody could live in that filth, mental problems or not. That's disgusting. So, let's start out on a good note, and that is I got the second book of the Avatar books, The Shadow of Kyoshi. Now, if you guys remember in my last bookish video, I talked about how I got the first one, but I wasn't sure if I was going to read it or not because I didn't know how long it would take me to get this one because the bookstore currently didn't have it when I was there. But me and my brother went, which was so weird because my brother doesn't read at all, so that was strange. And they ended up having this second book, so I ended up getting it. And it was the same price as the first, even though it's like 100 pages shorter than the first. So, book prices are strange. But I'm really excited to get into this series. Like I said, the Avatar series has been a beloved series of mine since it first came out on TV. And I have both the full series of Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra on DVD. So I figured, why not get the books as well? Now, while I was at this store, I did realize that they had manga, but manga is harder for me to get into, not because how it's read, but because it's mainly just pictures. So it makes it hard for me to turn the book into a movie in my head and follow it that way. The pictures constantly taking out of the story, plus with manga, it seems like there are so many volumes that it ends up not being worth getting them all because manga is just as expensive as actual books, where I can get more story, more detail, a better picture in my head, but it's still the same. Now, I was going to unhaul this, the Twilight book, but then it's got the flip side, literally, Life and Death, and I wanted to reread this one. So for now, I'm going to hang on to my Twilight copy because it has the Life and Death on it, but I wish they'd make a separate copy of Life and Death so you wouldn't have to hold this big honking chapter book of two different chapter books. So I am going to keep this one. Now, the first book that I am unhauling is one that you guys have not seen or probably even heard of. And this is a Dollar General find, and it's a 3-in-1 called The Heartlight Saga by T.A. Barton. And I read this a couple years ago, and I got partway through the third story, I think, because it's a trilogy wrapped into one book. And it seems like this story is trying too hard to be a story of wonder and magic and stunning imagery. It seems like it goes too far. It seems kind of fairy tale-ish, and it talks about how this girl like either time jumps or dimension jumps. I honestly can't tell you their names. I can only tell you about the first time she jumped through the gate because her grandpa ended up being in trouble or sick or something. This is not a memorable story, and I didn't even get finished with it, and it has been sitting on my bookshelf for like 4 years since then, and I have not had the desire to pick it up, so I'm just gonna give it away or whatever. Then you have Breaking Dawn, which was a victim of my careless bookkeeping covers, which is why I now tape every cover into a hardback book. And you guys know how I felt about this story. I did not finish it either of the 3 times I've read it. And because I've read it 3 different times, I am not going to read it again. Plus, I already did a review for it for you guys. So there's no need for me to keep this. And then with that is New Moon. And this poor thing is just all beaten up and taped up. And even though I like this story, I have read it 3 times and I've already reviewed it. And I'm honestly grown out of Twilight, and the whole vampire werewolf triangle does not amuse me, and I hate all of the characters and their attitudes, even though Jake in this was a hunk and Taylor Lautner played him well in the movie. But because I'm so sick of this trope of the love triangle and the insta-love, and just I hate all 3 of the characters, and how Jacob's really pushy, and how Edward is just a stalker, and Bella is just selfish and annoying, I'm not going to read this again. And with that comes Eclipse, which was the second to worst book in the series for me. It just had a bit too much detail, and I would have liked to see more about the army being built and coming after Bella, and that just did not happen. We did not get to see the army being built much, or coming after Bella, or all of that. It was just kind of pushed at the end and told to us through the news broadcast, because we constantly see the story through Bella's eyes. So therefore, this is another one I'm getting rid of. And that's about all I have to get rid of. I was going to get rid of my Naruto character story books, but I wanted to go back and reread the Sasuke and Itachi books, and I have not read the Kakashi or Sakura story. But I have watched Naruto so many times up at this point, because I keep trying to get through Naruto Shippuden, and I just can't, because the war goes on way too long. All these enemies that were fought so hard to kill off just came back because of a resurrection jutsu, and it all felt kind of pointless for them to have been battled in the first place. So I'm kind of getting over Naruto, even though Naruto was one of the animes that kind of started my love of anime. So that's it for today. What are you guys reading? What are your thoughts on the books that I'm unhauling? Have there some you not heard of? Have there some that you wouldn't have gotten rid of? Alright, hope to see you next time. Bye guys.